Hi everyone, welcome to Candy and Karen's Play with Intentions, brought to you by Richmond Care, Richmond Gifts, and the Richmond Child Care Resource and Referral. We would like to acknowledge that we are located on the traditional and unceded territory of the Musqueam, Tawasin, and Kwantlen people, and that we are guests in the territory of the indigenous people of this land. And today, we're making puffy paint. What is puffy paint? That is a good question. So what is and why puffy paint? It is science. It's fun. The children, you can make with the children and can hypothesize with the ingredients. So what if we added more water? What if we had less water? What will happen to our puffy paint if we added more? So you can hypothesize and test out your theories. There's nothing wrong with being too runny, and there's nothing wrong with being too solid. It's a great way for children to experience and understand how materials react together to create different things. It's art, it's paint, right? So it's art. So children can create, mash together and create something beautiful or something different. It's whatever they open-ended, so they can create whatever they want. So today the puffy paint can be drawing dinosaurs. Tomorrow it's just clouds. So it's their imagination is their limit, so it's pretty much limitless what they can create with it, and that creates a lot of language when you're talking to them, when you're making it with them, when they're creating things. And lastly, it's good muscle building. So when we're doing the puffy paint, when they're painting with it, even with the little fingers, when they're squeezing the bottles, they're building all these muscle skills for fine motor skills, for like pencils grabbing and buttoning, and all of that skills kind of comes together. So it is important when we do different things with children that we have these intentions put in place, that it builds everything else. It doesn't have to be mentioned, but it does. So let's get started. Okay, let's start. So we're gonna start with 1 cup of flour, but I don't have my 1 cup measure. Oopsies. So I have my 1/4 cup. So we're gonna do 4 1/4 cups. So when you're doing this, we can count with the children, and the children can scoop. So you can go 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is approximate, so it doesn't have to be exact. So it's great. And then the next thing we're gonna need is 3 teaspoons of baking soda. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to need 1 teaspoon of salt. All right. So first we're gonna mix all the dry ingredients together. So here's my little spoon, and we're just gonna mix it. Nothing special. Now we're gonna slowly add water. So on the recipe it says 1 1/4 cup of water. So I'm gonna add them 1/4 cup at once, because what we want to make is to have a consistency like a pancake batter. So here's my trusty 1 cup, 1/4 cup. So I'm gonna scoop. This is my first one. So I'm gonna go 1, and then I'm gonna mix it. So does this look like pancake? No, it looks kind of doughy, like what we did with Miss Karen. This is number 2. So, ooh, it's getting a little bit more runny, but still kind of doughy. So let's do another one. 3. Oh, it's getting a little bit squishy. Can you hear this? This is making a squishy sound. Squish, 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 squish. 4. Let's add a little bit more. Ooh, look at that. Does it still look like pancakes? Not yet, unless you like really, really thick pancakes. And 5. So this is the last scoop from the recipe. But if you feel like it's not runny enough, you can always add more water. Or if you feel like at 3 cups it was so runny, you can just leave it and try again, and then you can just go on to the next step. So this is what I mean when I talked about the science in the beginning. It's about kind of finding that whatever you guys feel like. So if it's too runny, add more flour and see what happens. If it's way too runny, add some baking soda and see what happens. It's about science and interacting and trying to discovering what works, what will work in your little discovery. So this is a little bit kind of pancake-like. It's a little bit lumpy, but I think that's okay. I'm just gonna add maybe a little bit more water. Maybe just a little scoop. So here. That's kind of pancake batterly. Next thing we do, we can add color. So you can do multiple colors by pouring this mixture into small bowls and then mixing it. But I'm just gonna pour them in the bag, and I'm just gonna mix them in the bag because it's just a little easier for us. So you can use the condiment bottles that you can get at the stores. For us, we're just gonna use the plastic Ziploc bags, and I have like a little cup, or you use it as a cup, and then you just take your bottle, take your bag, open it, and just shove it in there, and go like this. And now you're ready to pour in your little pancake mixture. So we're gonna pour in a little bit, not all of it, because we want different colors. And I'm gonna add the color green. So it depends on how intense you want the colors. You can add as much as you want, as little as you want. So food coloring does stain, but it will wash off. So if you're gonna let your children try doing it, it's fine, but just be careful and maybe maybe wear something that you don't want. That's not very fancy. So I usually let the arrow, so it makes it a little easier. So I'm just gonna let it go in the bag, and I'm just gonna squish it around. This is actually quite fun as a sensory experience. So if you do have you have younger children that like you're afraid that they might eat it, this is a good activity for them too. Having them to squish this all around. And this is a very good sensory. It's very satisfying. Kind of like, so you can do that. So this is ready. Get that. That color is pretty amazing. Just in time for spring. So the next one we're going to do blue. A little bit of blue, and you can experiment. So you can do blue and red and see what color we're going to make. So you can see blue and red. What color do you think we're going to make with blue and red? And this is also a good time to kind of test out that do you need a lot of blue to make purple, or do you need a lot of red to make purple? What happens if you put too much blue, and what happens if you put too much red? So it's a good idea to look at the different shades of color. And you know, so I only did like a couple drops of blue, but obviously it's a little bit more blue than it is purple. So, but you saw me put the red in there, so if you want to make purple, you actually would need more red. Interesting, eh? Isn't that cool? So let's leave this one blue, and I still have one more batch, so I'm gonna make purple. I'm determined. So I'm gonna do it in the bowl instead of in the bag. All right. So this is gonna be in my last bag. So we're gonna make purple. So let's try. Couple drops of red and a couple of drops of blue. And let's stir. The moment of truth. Can Miss Candy make purple? Woohoo! We made purple. Ooh, look at the spirally color. Isn't that beautiful? So we have made purple. See? Experimentation. So if you have yellow at home, which for some really strange reason is hard to come by these days, you can make orange. So you can look at the color wheels and go from there and look at what's outside. That's purple. That spring's coming, so what's purple? And Miss Karen that did the Play-Doh with you, she had lavender that's purple, and you can go look for that outside and smell lavender, which is a wonderful scent. So we're gonna put the purple in. Right. Okay, let's put the purple in. This is fun. And I'm excited because this is exciting to see if all of that work we did. See if it worked. Thank you. All right. So now we have these 3 lovely bags of colors, all squishy. So if you want, if you have a younger child and you're concerned about them putting in their mouth, then you can stop here and let them squish the bags. So everything we've used is just flour and stuff, so it's nothing bad for them. So it's not the end of the world. They put a little bit in their mouth. I wouldn't recommend eating it, and I don't think they'll eat it because it tastes kind of yucky. So the younger children, they're more than welcome to just kind of whoosh around this, and you can put tape around the edges so that it will be a little bit more durable. But for 4 children that are very excited about this puffy paint. We're gonna paint with it. So we have a piece of black cardstock, and so what we're going to do is we're gonna push all the paint to one corner. So you're gonna push, push. So if we have any bakers at home that likes to decorate cake, it's kind of similar to decorating cake, where you're just squeezing it all on one side. And we're gonna twist so that there's a little bit of pressure. And we're gonna cut a little tiny hole, okay? Like a little tiny one right here. So cut. All right, so now we're gonna draw. So I'm gonna write, ooh, see. So don't forget, once you cut it, it will keep pushing out. So if you have little cups, it's kind of nice to catch all of that extra stuff. So let's do, ooh, this is pretty. So after I write this, I'm gonna show you one more thing, which I'm not sure it's gonna work, but it's gonna be fun. It's an experiment that we're gonna try. So we're gonna cut a little one. So if the smaller one you cut, the better you can draw with it, because CCRR, that's where me and Miss Karen are located. And all right, so because it's spring, let's draw a flower. Let's see how our flower would look. So apparently clumps of flower get stuck in there. They make it very hard to squeeze out. See? Look, a clump. Ooh. Fine. Okay, so in the puffy paint, if you remember, we put some baking soda on, and that got me thinking, what will happen if we add a little bit of vinegar? So let's try. So I have a little bit of vinegar, I have my little teaspoon. So if you have an eyedropper, that's even better. But let's go. Are you ready? Let's put it at the end of this R. Oh, look at all the little bubbles foaming and forming. So this is adding a different kind of experience and also texture for the children to look at them and look at, oh my goodness, look at all the bubbles. That looks so fun. So they can look at it and make a big picture, and you can let it dry and go from there and see what you want to do. You can even experiment, like what happens if we add vinegar after it dries? Would it bubble more, bubble less? Hypothesize and figure it out. So thank you for tuning in and learning and making puffy paint and doing this experiment with me today. I just want everyone to know that we are at the Richmond Child Care Resource Referral has a Richmond Early Years Lending Library. So if you want resources regarding materials for you to play with your children during spring break, you're welcome to come borrow. Membership is free. The information is down below, so click on the link and learn more about us. Thank you for tuning in. Bye!